What motivated you to do that?
I'm not sure really what motivated me to post it. I just think that, I just want people to live their very best lives, and for someone like Eddie Betts to be dragged down, he should be one of the most celebrated players in the AFL. He brings so much electricity. He's got the Eddie Betts pocket. All this amazing energy that he brings to the game from a positive standpoint. He took a photo with a guy who's from a different. He supports Fremantle. That's something that not every person's going to do. He spent time after the game that they played up in the Northern Territory to take time out for everyone. He's a beautiful family man, and I don't know, it just struck a chord with me that I just wanted to call it out, because it's so unacceptable and wrong.
Something else that we see so often is abuse of players. Social media has become a centrepiece for that abuse. And how do you feel as a player when you know when you've had a bad game, when you've had an ordinary performance, and then all the comments that are written, be it on Twitter or Facebook? Can you understand it at all?
I can. I think I've sort of broken it down over the last few years, and it comes through sort of two filters. One, the first filter is this person, are they just seeking attention? Do they just want love? Do they just want to be acknowledged? So it doesn't really matter if you bite back and say something negative or say, oh, thanks very much for your opinion, and give them a positive compliment. They just want attention. The second filter that you've got to go through is this person genuinely rotten at the core, or are they just a mindless follower and uneducated? And a lot of these things you can't really understand unless you know the person. So it's best to probably just leave a lot of those battles out and hope that the communities that are around them and the families that are around them can weed that out. You need a license to drive a car. You need to be a certain age to drink alcohol. No one knows properly how to vet social media to themselves, because it does release endorphins when you get likes, when you get comments, and all these different kinds of things. So when these young kids are exposed to, I've got 3,000 friends or 5,000 friends, and that's how they validate whether they're successful or good, then it's pretty wrong, because there's a lot of trolls out there which on the flip side can make their lives very hard if they invest themselves so emotionally in that.
Alex, this might be a bit of a loaded question, but at the other end of the scale, if someone actually has racially vilified a player at the stadium, they get ejected from the stadium. If that's something that's been obvious and a player can point that out, they can be removed. If someone actually is racially vilifying someone at all in social media, should that person be denied entry to the ground as well?
It's definitely something to look at. It's impossible to be able to vet that, because someone can just create a secondary account, a third account, and I've blocked that many accounts over the past month, over some of the instances which has happened to me over the past month. But I look at their account and I see 0 posts, and they're following 500 people. So pretty much they're just there to troll people and to get a reaction. So it's an easy one just to go, see you later.
My favourite button on Twitter is the block button.
Of course it would be, Shane. I believe that.
It comes in really handy, especially when you dish out a few opinions. I've got to ask you, diving. You've been centred to it, rightly or wrongly, the last couple of weeks. You got fined once for it. I think you unfairly copped it last week. Were you embarrassed at all?
No. It's. I think it's what it was spun up to be was something a lot bigger than what it was. Like, the word staging gets thrown about because it gets the soccer connotation, and I think it wasn't staging because it was a free kick. But it's a hard one for me to comment on personally, because I don't want it to be spun and drummed up again. I caught my fine and then we moved on.
How does it sit with you being called the best defender in the competition?
Not well at all. Not well. I squirm in my seat whenever anyone talks about that, because it's like comparing apples with golf balls.
There are some shinier apples though than others, Alex.
There's players that I grew up loving watching, like, Darren Glass and Matthew Scarlett and Dustin Fletcher and guys like that. And I'm flattered that people sort of talk about me in that sort of light. But in my mind, it definitely would never be the case that I'm up to those guys' standard.